Okay, this is a video on how to make the lower jaw. Okay, so it's pretty basic shape, and we're gonna use um, extrude mainly, and we have 1, 2, 3 extrude. Then later you're gonna cut. So later you're gonna cut into this big piece. That's your fourth extrude. So this part is mainly your skills on the sketch. Okay, so let's start doing the model. Okay, first you got a blank file, and you build a sketch, right? And for my convenience, I'm gonna put that the dimension in the slides. I can import that into an X. So it's just for me, and you can look at your slides while doing this. Okay, so we can go to view, visualization, and raster image. For this tool you need a TIFF image, so you can save that image as TIFF and come here, specify your image. Okay, then click here, create raster image, and I'm gonna put this thing away from my model. Okay, so texture size, maybe give it a little bit bigger. Okay, anyway, so we just use this as I use this as your slides. You can look at the slides, and now let's start the sketch. Okay, alright, if you look at this shape, um, first, if you want to extrude, then you need a close the loop, close the curve. So we want to extrude this big piece first, and then that teeth and this little ear. So lastly, cut into that. That's the wire cutter part. So we should draw this big piece first, and the big piece you want to start with the holes, as that's your critical dimension. Oh, it's very critical for assembly. So we should start from these two holes. Okay, and it's gonna be this dimension and that dimension. Oh, this, so 5/16. Okay, so 5/16. Okay, and distance from this circle to that circle is 1.5. The degree is 75 degree, and I can just put another circle at random place, okay, which is a quarter in diameter. A quarter. And the idea here is you drop the shape first, then we constrain its dimension. So here I need a reference line. Okay, so you use line command, snap to the center of this circle, center, or you can snap to orange, to the center of this circle. And now we want to turn this straight line into reference, so we can go here, not here, here. Okay, there's that convert to or from reference. You can also click this line, this quick menu, that's your button to convert to reference. Okay, then I'm gonna put dimension on this dash line, so the position of the second circle gonna be adjusted, and I believe it's 1.5 inch. Alright, turn off this reference. Okay, now it's 1.5 inch. Okay, and that reference, it doesn't do anything, it just shows the dimension. You can keep it on or delete it, doesn't matter. And the angle of this line to Y, so we click on Y, gonna be 75 degrees. Okay, and you see they're all green and no little arrow. That means no degree of freedom, which is good actually. So we have two circle, and go back, modify that sketch, and then next, okay, if you look at here, and if you look at this part, all the dimension originated from the top of this tip. That means this is your reference for all those points, all these dimensions. So we need to fix this point first. And if you look at here, this blade and the teeth is aligned on y-axis. So let's start put on the top tip, or you can put a whole straight line here as reference. I think that's what I'm gonna do. 2.5 from the origin to the top. Okay, so I'm gonna put a straight line from the origin to the top, and then it's gonna be 2.5, and so the length is fixed, and now it's straight up. Click. Okay, and I want that to be reference to, so I need to close this command first, then click on this line. That will give us the quick menu, convert to reference. Okay, now actually when you draw the first extrusion, you actually don't need to draw this teeth, because you're gonna extrude that part later. So a simple way is you just draw something like a straight line down here, go back there. Okay, that's a faster way. But I'll show you. So we have done this. We can come down a quarter the length of this line, and we can fix the blade position. The blade is here. If you look at here, okay, so 1 and 7/8. Okay, let's draw something first. It's gonna be a quarter from the top down. And the second one is probably we can draw this one, the limit of your teeth. So that's gonna be 1.125, and that's 1/16. Okay, so actually we can use point also, but well, make this simple, just use line. I think it's 1 plus 7/8. No, 1/8. Be straight down, and then go into, that's gonna be 1/16. Okay, so this point is here, the end of your teeth. Okay. Excuse me. Move those things away. Okay, for the teeth, it's like one circle, two circle. So it's like a two arc uh, put together. So we can draw this now, but not necessarily. Okay. Alright, so one arc. If we want to do that, goes in somewhere here, we can actually snap to the middle point of this straight line. Okay. Hopefully we can find it. Straight line. Not this one. Yeah, well, just drop this. Okay. I think it curves out. Curve out. Make this tangent to the top. Okay, that's one. Then the second one is gonna be from this arc to that point. Let's make that tangent to 2. Okay. Alright, so this shape doesn't matter. You just keep this. And so coming down, it's gonna be this part, the blade. The blade is okay, 1 and 708. Now we can drop shape first. Let's drop this straight line first. Then use dimension to confine this plate, the position of this line. Okay, it's gonna be 1 plus 7/8. Yes, and the length is 5/16. And just click on that line, pull out 5/16, and I'm done. Alright, so we have the position of this. Yeah, okay. Oh no, I think I made a mistake. It's actually 1 plus 5/8. Okay. Oh, we can come back and modify this. I think that's this dimension. 5/8. So there's a circle connect from here to here, and the circle connect like this. Now it goes around the arc, the circle. Now we can draw two circles, which is this and that. Okay, and let's see, 5/16, 5/16. Okay, 5/16. Where'd it go? Control Z, Y. I just drop a dimension here. Okay, 5/16. That's the radius, and that's gonna be 10/16. Okay, so now I guess there are two arc here. Yeah, and I want to delete the second one. Okay, this is 10/16. Okay, so we have two circle, and you want to go up, and that's the point. The point is well, this point is not very good because there's no dimension, no x dimension for this point. So I'm just gonna leave this alone. Or since the shape doesn't matter, you can just draw a straight line up, you know, and put this point to the left of y-axis. Or which is better, we have two arcs here. Okay, we can actually make these two arcs. Okay, and I believe that's from this point, end point, to that. Wait a minute, I want to start at the end point of this arc, to that end point. Okay, the radius is gonna be 1/8. Yeah, drop it. Okay. And for now we don't need this anymore, but we can turn this into reference. You can delete this, but if you delete that, this dimension is gonna be gone, and you can delete that, really doesn't matter. And I want to delete this too. Okay. And probably you want to put a dimension here, just in case the whole thing moves. Okay. And we have another arc here, and if you look at here, it's probably perpendicular to that blade, right? So we can go down on this curve. The center gonna be on this curve, touching that point. Okay, and then we change the diameter. It's gonna be 1/8 in radius, and it's gonna be 1/4 in diameter. Done. And here we can use a tangent line. Okay, so if you look at this, the little icon beside my curves, that means this one, on curve. So if you snap to the circle on curve, it's gonna move along your curves, and it's gonna make sure that that point is tangent. So if we hover close to that curve, you see another tangent sign. So that means this is gonna be tangent. Okay, and why is here? Because I dropped this point out of this arc, and you can do extend. We can use quick extend. Make sure this one goes into that arc, but actually this one is here. It's not tangent, so we just need one tangent here at the bottom. And then let's go back and put a straight line, and I don't want tangent. You can maybe turn off this, just put any position here, because the dimension doesn't matter here. Okay, so you have that shape, and trim away those excessive curve. Trim this away, trim that away, trim this away. Okay, now let's finish sketch and have a look what we have. We have this right side. Okay, so next we're gonna go for this button. Go back to the sketch. That should be two straight line, and you can measure this this angle in the IGS file, but I'm just gonna do this by naked eye. just, okay, now you need on curve, the snap point. On curve, go, and I think it's flat. It's more like flat. Or you can do like this, make this whole thing like more organized. So that's your point. You can trim away those, trim away this, and apparently don't forget this. Okay, trim away that. Now we can even trim away this. Okay. And have a look. We probably need a fillet here, which is 3/16. No, this one. Yeah, that's the little small hole. That's 3/16. Okay, so type in 3/16 and click that, click this. Okay. Alright, now the left part. The left part consists of two arcs, and if you look at the IGS file, you will find out, actually you can find the breaking point between these two arcs, because there's a line which will indicate the point. And here I'm gonna show you the dimension here. So the breaking point is what, 7/8 to y-axis and 1 inch to the top of that tip. Okay, again 7/8 and 1 inch. So we can go, and you can measure that from IGS, by the way. Okay, modify the sketch, and what I need is 1 point. You can insert a point here, and I'm gonna put this point. Use dimension tool, click this point, click that, maybe click Y. It's gonna be 7/8. Okay, and click this point, click that top point. It's gonna be 1 inch. Okay, so now you have your connection point between two arcs. Now we just draw two arcs, 3-point arc, 1 point, another point, and you can adjust the radius, make it look better. Okay, and the second point, the second arc is gonna be tangent to this, and also tangent to that circle. If you look at one tangent, that's not tangent. Now it's two tangent. So keep in mind that, yeah, I mixed the order. If you want to keep this two tangent, that radius of the top arc is gonna be fixed. So we can actually draw the lower arc first. On curve, that, make sure that's tangent to the bottom. Okay, this is one. Well, once you want tangent to this button, the curve is fixed, and the second arc on the top, and you want this to be tangent to that arc, then the whole thing is fixed. Although it looks weird. You can adjust this. Let me see if I can adjust that. Yeah, I think it's fixed. Okay, try another one. Try different radius. See what happens. Okay, tangent. Yeah, so there's a little bit play between this two shape. Okay, and anyway, we can make tangent to this and delete that. Can also modify this radius. Okay, and since there's a tangent constraint here, the top curve gonna move along with this bottom curve, bottom arc. If you adjust the radius, okay, the top arc, look at the top arc, it's gonna go with the bottom arc. That's all because of this tangent constraint. Okay. All right. Okay, we can cut this off and have a look. Now pretty much we have this the big piece, and since the piece is actually inside this arc, this is the outside line of your arc. So what you want to do is you don't want to extrude on this arc, then you have to cut into this extrude. So we want to avoid that. We can just make something like this. So when you have another piece, another extrude, you don't get that. Well, you will see. Okay, close this. Maybe I want this to be reference line. So this is gonna be reference for the next sketch, and we're gonna extrude this part. Okay, we have pretty much everything. We're ready for the extrude. Finish sketch and extrude. Click that. Okay, the input is invalid. Oh, that means some overlapping somewhere. My guess, I don't know. Extrude, simple curve. Okay, so once you choose single curve, then we can try to extrude part by part. I think the thickness of this piece is a quarter, so if it's symmetric, it's gonna be 1/8. And look at the star. The star means this open end, so we can keep select curve until you see something wrong. Then you can find the see, you see that two stars? That means the sketch is not good here. Well, let's have a look. So maybe I can even hide this reference line. Okay, that's a problem. No, that's not. The problem is actually this line. This line is sticking out. So you want close curve, you don't want sticking out curve. Just cut that. Okay, and since we cut that, also cut the dimension. So we're gonna put one dimension down. It's gonna be a quarter. Okay, and hope there's still straight line here. Yeah, the line is gone. Okay, and then we need to patch this. Okay, and then extrude. That's your quick manual. Alright, that looks good. It's gonna be symmetric 1/8. Yeah, so you extrude symmetrically. That way, when you extrude this thinner parts, you just need to change the distance here. It's gonna make sure the thinner part is in the middle of this thicker part. Okay, apply, cancel. Now we have one piece here. We can keep doing the teeth, or well, maybe the little ear is easier to do that. Okay. Now let's have a look at the well, we need first we need another sketch. Okay, build a new sketch, select the XY plane, click OK. So if you look at here, first one is the big part. The second sketch is for this little small hole. And let's have a look. Okay, since this one is just a geometry and we don't use this for assembly, so the position of this hole doesn't matter. And but if you look at here, they are concentric with this arc, so we can put this. Pretty much we have the position already. So let's see what to do with. You see the center of arc, that's the center of that arc. That's also the center of our little hole. We can put one circle here. Dimension, I believe it's 1/8 in diameter. And this button shape, it doesn't even matter. You just put a straight line. You can hover here, then you start. If you see that's the parallel sign on top of my cursor. So that means this line is going to be parallel to this line. Okay, so we can go into the shape because we're going to merge these two together. That's one. If you like, you can put a dimension, so you can keep track. That's my input method. Okay, point 2. You can keep track the distance between these two lines, and then later we're gonna draw another line into that, also parallel, and just to be neat, can put point 2 to make sure these two lines are at the same distance to the hole. And next thing is fillet. You can fillet this too. There's 1/8. That means it looks the same, so we can use 1/8 for either one. 1/8. That's the radius. Okay. And here it's not finished yet. If you look at this shape, we cannot extrude based on that curve. We still need to close this loop. And since we gonna unite this extrude into that big piece, we don't really need to match this edge. So what you do, you just get some geometry into your solid piece. Okay, and now if we extrude, it's gonna extrude inside that solid, and after you unite, they're gonna be one piece. We can directly use extrude. You don't have to finish sketch. So this way it's gonna pick the whole sketch, and the thickness is gonna be symmetric again, and I believe that's gonna be half of the thickness, so we can divide by 2. Okay. And you can even do unite here right now. I'm just gonna do it like this. Okay, that's your Boolean operation, unite. Click OK. Let's have a look. That's your little ear. and for the it's kind of bigger than the one in IGS, so not a big fan of too big. So let's adjust it, and we can adjust that 0.15 and finish sketch. It's automatically updated. Then we do edge blend. We can edge blend this to straight edge, so it's gonna match the IGS shape. We still use 1/8, the same as this corner. Okay, so that's pretty much what we have. And where's our image? Oh well. So now we can go ahead and do the teeth. We need another sketch. Okay, again that's YX. Click OK. And if you don't like this solid piece here, you can right click and hide this. And actually we don't care about that. Okay, so now we have a teeth shape, and what you can do is we can get this curve. We can use project curve to get that shape, or you can draw something. You can do nothing over in the first sketch, just leave this blank and you can draw something later. Okay, and apparently it does not allow me to pick this reference line. Alright, if it doesn't allow me, and I'll just draw something based on the curve. It's like chase this thing. Okay, so we have this shape, and we need to draw some teeth. Use profile tool. Okay, and very random teeth here. And now if you hover here, it's gonna go to the center of the arc. Just turn off this snap, even turn off that, turn off the middle point, turn off everything, leave only a point on curve. Make sure all the points are gonna land on that curve. Okay, and you can keep drawing. I'll just make this teeth bigger, make my life easier. Okay, so as you know, the shape is not required. To the bottom, I'm gonna be careful a little bit. Okay, and now we can keep this arc. Just turn that into reference, so this way you know where your teeth land. And still we have in this sketch, if I had this, we only have the teeth. Okay, and you want, when you extrude this thing, you want it to be the shape like alright, it's gone. You know what the shape is. So I'm gonna click them back. Also chase this arc. So get a straight line first. Draw just on top of that arc, straight line, and get something like this. Okay, and so again we have this shape here, and on the back is similar shape. We can use offset curve. So let's pick this curve and that curve. Oops. Okay, you don't want to pick those teeth. Curve, and that's connected curve. I'm gonna pick a single curve. Okay, pick this one. that one. Okay, and try to look at different shape. Maybe that looks good. Okay, that looks good. Apply. Okay. Now you want this to be touching on that arc. Quick extend to the top. Excuse me. And for this teeth, you can come here and cut into this, then trim this away. Alright, so and also trim the top arc away. So now we should have a closed curve. Okay, and this closed curve gonna extrude up and down, and it's gonna extrude into this solid piece we have already, and do a unite. Okay. Also, there's a detail here. You can do a fillet, and if you want to measure the radius, you can measure that. I just keep this way. Finish sketch, and hopefully the sketch is good for extrude. Okay, now that's good, and I think that's gonna be a quarter the thickness. Half the thickness is a quarter, so the whole thing is a half. And also you can choose unite right away, but I'm just gonna leave this none because we're gonna do something here. Okay, and also you can when you do the curve, you can fillet this corner. So I can do also edge blend. Okay, edge blend, make this smaller. Click OK. Alright, now this cutting blade, as shown here, this blade, we can use Boolean command, use subject, and extrude something to cut the top geometry, something like this. Okay. Then let's go back to our model, and if you look at the dimension, it should be, it's not there. It's not in the slides, and you can measure from the IGS and like how far away is this straight line to y-axis. So I'm gonna measure here. Use measure tool, projected distance. So it's gonna give you the distance on this x direction. The first object is gonna be this straight line of this point. Snap this point and pick y-axis or the orange. Well, it's easier to use this. That's your absolute reference. So okay, now you see it's a quarter. Okay, and a quarter here. What about this line? Okay, I'm gonna change the direction. I want the distance from the origin to this line and on y direction. It's 0.6, so 0.6 for this line and 0.25 for this line. Okay, now let's go back to the model, and F8, we need a new sketch. Well, for this simple object, we don't really need a new sketch. You just use sketch right away. Okay, and it's gonna ask you to draw something first. We can pick YX plane, and you draw this sketch, but you cannot see from here. Oh well. Still, you can see that. Okay. Alright, so that's gonna be a box. I just put a box first. Second, we put a dimension from here to here. That's gonna be 0.6, and I want this to be the left of y-axis, then put dimension. Otherwise you're gonna put a minus something on the dimension. Okay, it's gonna be a quarter. That's good. And if you look at that, the blade is gonna cut all the way in here except the teeth. That's why I left when I did the extrude on the teeth, I didn't unite them together, because now when you cut into this big piece, it's gonna, if you unite them, it's gonna also cut into that teeth, so which I don't want. So what we can do is put a dimension, maybe 1, make it bigger, because you're gonna cut into that anyway. So I think we're good. Okay, now we can do extrude, and we are going to cut the top the top half of the big piece. So this, from the big piece, the thickness is a quarter, and we can make this thing start from 1/8. 1/8, okay, 1/8 is that top surface, then divide by 2 again. That's gonna be the middle of the top half. And as to the top of this extruder, it doesn't matter, you just want to cut. Okay. And now we can have a look at, we can use this to subject, and you want to select a body to subject from. It's gonna be this, and you can use show result and have a look. See, this box cut into this big piece but didn't cut into this teeth, because we didn't do unite between the teeth and the big piece. Okay, just select OK. Now we have one here. You can do the same thing, extrude another box, and for me I just do mirror this box to the lower half. We can do insert, associative copy, mirror feature. Okay, and select a feature. I'm gonna select this extrude, and specify the plane. That's your center plane. Okay, if you look at here, that's YC, that means the XY plane, or ZC. ZC is the normal of this YX plane. So that's right. And even you can look at this point, that's the feature is the position of that feature. You can do OK. Then the bottom is cut. Okay, now the last thing is transfer. And so if you want to do the transfer, you can do it now, or you can do it after we unite this two pieces. I'm gonna unite this two. The select target is the big body, tool is this small teeth. Click OK. Now they're a whole solid, a one piece, and then we do transfer. Transfer is here. You can select one edge. Okay, and we want to symmetric. Yes. Also the distance of your symmetric your transfer is gonna be probably the height of this thing. So actually we can measure the length of this edge. Okay, if you remember, it's gonna be what the total thickness is a quarter, half of this is 1/8, then half of the top half is 1/16. So that's 1/16. Click OK. That's gonna give you a clean cut without anything left on this here. Okay. The second, third, fourth. So we're gonna do chamfer on this four edges. Okay. Click OK. Now you have the lower jaw. Alright. Thank you very much.